Sneaker resellers hate reps, but those dummies don't realize they're the ones that actually made them much more popular. Yes, reps have become much more of a viable option to the average day consumer because sneakers are getting way too expensive. What the resellers have done is they made it almost impossible to get really hype sneakers. The average sneaker costs about $300-400 nowadays, and a lot of people aren't willing to pay the buck to get what they want. Reps are getting better, the quality is getting better, they're one for one, and there's also used sneakers, so people don't feel the need to pay resale for sneakers anymore. They rather just go somewhere else to get their sneakers. And that's all because of you. The resellers have created their own problem because of their greed. Wow, isn't karma something? And I know how a lot of sneakerheads feel about reps. The argument against reps is oftentimes that you're fake. You're not living a real life. You're only wearing stuff because you want to fit in. And okay, that's fine. Let me put something on the screen. You see this BBL over here? You see this nice booty right here? If I told you that she got surgery to get that butt, you're telling me you're not going to try to hit, bro? You're a liar just like me. But we have to establish the real terms of what it means to wear reps. It's simply just a cheaper option for people to wear what they want to wear. That's it. Right, wrong, moral, immoral. We gotta save all that for a different discussion because at the end of the day, that's why people wear reps, not to fit in, just because they want a nice booty. Now, like I said earlier, it's almost impossible to get hype sneakers for retail nowadays. The resellers have such an advantage in the market. Now, we all know that the market has become digitalized, especially after COVID. Everything seems to be online. With everything being online, the bots eat up more than anybody else, and they scalp the sneakers. The resellers go on the websites, they go on the apps, and they buy up all the sneakers using their army of robots like Dr. Giro to conquer the world. And that isn't fair. We're not prepared for this Android apocalypse that's to come. You see, the apps and the websites are not equipped to deal with the number of robots. They're trying to figure out how to better prevent these resellers from doing what they do, but they just haven't caught up with the times. The websites constantly serve sneakers to people for cheap. They get to use multiple different addresses to get sneakers shipped to the same spot. It's a terrible game out here. They're mining crypto and they're mining sneakers, and it's really unfair. What they end up doing once they get the sneaker is they say, hey, you know what, I'm the only person selling this thing, so instead of doing like a little markup of like $20-30, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to charge them 5 times the original amount of a sneaker. For example, Fragment 1 lows, they retailed for like what, $150? They resell for almost $1,000. That is a 10 times markup. Is that fair? It is what it is. It's capitalism, but guess what? We don't have to play the game anymore if we don't want to, and you can't get mad at people for choosing not to continue in this broken practice. And you know what a lot of people say too is like, if you can't get a sneaker for retail, just don't buy it. Cool, that works for you. But sometimes you actually like things, you want diversity. And I honestly feel like if somebody wants a sneaker and it was available for sale, they have the right to get that sneaker. It's just fair and honest, bro. So if I'm somebody that wishes to have diversity in their sneaker collection, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. And the companies have noticed the descent in the sneaker community. Many sneakerheads have given up on general releases because they feel like, you know what, if I try to go after this hype pair, I'm just gonna take an L anyway. What's the point? That apathy does something to these companies, and it does something to the whole sneaker game. When people feel like they're not going to keep practicing and playing the game anymore, it's very bad for the sport in general. And I know the analogy flew over your head, but let me explain. Imagine in the game of basketball, the players still show up, they still do what they do, they go to practice, they play in the game, but nobody comes to watch them anymore. I mean, yes, they're still competing, but the interest isn't there, and that affects the energy of the whole sport. And that is what's happening in the sneaker community right now in 2024, and we can see it in the sale of the sneakers at the moment. Rep sneakers have become much more viable for a lot of people. The quality has gotten better, the prices are much fair, and you always have access to them. That's a lot easier for people. For some of y'all, you don't understand. Most people got into sneakers post-pandemic, and they're used to this whole resale thing, but honestly, the rep buying is more akin to how sneakers used to be back in the day. Now, I know there wasn't a digital market back in the day, yes, but a lot of older sneakerheads can attest to this. If you wanted a sneaker, all you had to do was go to the store, wait in line, buy the sneaker, walk out. It was that simple. There wasn't a, hey, verify this, and we're going to call lottery numbers and see if you're the lucky winner, and then you can give us money for being lucky. You have a chance to show us how much you want the sneaker. Like, no, dude, it was a much simpler process back in the day. It was much fairer back in the day. Yes, back in like the early 2000s, it seemed goofy to wear reps because the quality was so low and it was so easy to get sneakers. And in a day and age where fast fashion is like the norm, guys, people just want to wear things for the flicks. It doesn't really matter whether something is real or not. It's all about how the optics look on the social media pages. So nowadays it's more acceptable to wear reps because people are only looking at them. They're not able to touch the sneaker and tell if it's legit or not. And that's really the only way to distinguish these reps nowadays. Most of the times we look at those sneaker legit check videos, they have to bend the sneaker in all sorts of weird manners just to figure out if it's real or not. And I'm not hating on that, bro. They're trying to sell real sneakers. That's what they gotta do. But if you're just somebody who wants to wear the darn sneaker, nobody's gonna come up and grab your sneaker, flip it, bend it, do all that stuff. It don't matter. When I go out and I see people, may they be reps, there's a chance that they are, but they look good with the fit, bro. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. People compliment you on your reps all the time. If you wear sneakers, real, fake, or whatever, you're going to get compliments, bro. Reps have become an acceptable option nowadays. Whether you feel like it's right or wrong, it is what it is. All of what I said ties directly back to resellers. You guys made it harder to get sneakers. On top of that, a lot of these legit checking apps get it wrong. I hear so many stories of, hey, I bought a sneaker off StockX and I found out it was fake. Or you see videos all the time of people going from one sneaker reseller store trying to sell the sneakers they bought to another sneaker reseller store and figuring out those sneakers are fake. So what if I really bought a sneaker under the pretenses that it was real? I spent $1,000 on it and it turns out it's fake. Do you all expect me to throw out that sneaker? Hell no, it's real to me now, buddy. I spent $1,000 on this stuff, bro. So we really have to look at this whole rep situation a lot differently, guys. Y'all always want to admonish somebody so quick for wearing a sneaker, but you don't know what story there is behind that person getting to this point of, hey, you know what? At least with reps, I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm signing up for. And if you look at the prices of a lot of these rep sneakers, it's not like they're selling the sneakers for $5 a piece, bro. Most of the time, they're the retail price of a lot of authentic sneakers. Let that marinate and sit in. And the resellers only hate reps because they want more customers. One thing we also have to understand, although resellers made reps more popular, they did not create reps. Reps exist in every single market. Think about this. When it comes to cereal, you got Frosted Flakes and Icy Crystals. I mean, come on now. There's a great value version of everything that is popular. There are rep brands all over Amazon. You have iPhone chargers and you got the fake third-party iPhone chargers, and they both sell well because they appeal to people at different price points, okay? Some people can't afford your product, therefore they were never a potential customer to you because people tend to go after what's cheapest sometimes. It may not be the same quality, whatever, but the person knows that when they're signing up to purchase what they want to purchase. And resellers, you're competing with much more than just than reps. You're competing with reps, you're competing with used sneakers, and you're also competing with the rising new brands. New Balance is becoming more popular, Hoka's, Asics are becoming more popular, and yes, your hype may bleed into those brands eventually, but right now, it's just not working, guys. Like, we can lift up whatever brand we choose to lift up as long as we put our money into it. Don't hate reps as much as you think you need to because they exist and there's not much you can do to get rid of either of them. You can't get rid of reps entirely and you can't get rid of resellers entirely. It's just a part of the economy. It is what it is. And I say that to say is like, I don't think every sneaker reseller is bad. I get comments on my videos all the time like, hey, I'm a reseller, you know what I mean? I buy pairs, I fix them up, I flip them. Or I buy pairs for the people in my community and I charge them just a little bit more than what it takes to get the sneaker. I'm fine with that, bro. Not all resellers are bad, but you all need to admit the ones who completely price gouge and screw the game up, those are the ones who are suffering right now, and they absolutely deserve it, 1000%. Y'all have to accept the fact that reps were popularized by the resellers because y'all push the sneakers so much. Then you got people that buy reps and try to resell them. Like, there's a whole convoluted game to all this, guys.